Li Shengyao is the youngest professor at the School of Film Arts at the University of Southern California. He traveled back 2,000 years and became a group actor. He certainly won't become an actor, actors are just puppets for the director. He wants to be the controller of the set and become the greatest director of the new century. Keywords of the novel: The King of Directors 2000 No Pop-Ups, The King of Directors 2000 Complete Collection Download, The King of Directors 2000 Latest Chapter Reading. Chapter 1. What to Do Without Money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. What to Do Without Money. On March 13, 2000 years, at 9 o'clock in the morning, the temperature in Yenjing had just passed 10 degrees. Walking outside, one still had to tighten their necks, and the common people were wearing big cotton jackets. Outside the Yenjing film studio, hundreds of group performers crouched on both sides of the entrance. These people gathered in groups of 3 to 2 to chat, with their eyes fixed on the intersection. If a car came over, they would immediately tidy up and show a sincere and pleasing smile. At the outermost part of the group performance, there stands a young man in his early 20s, who is handsome and tall in stature. This person's name is Li Shengyao. He is a martial artist and can be considered a special actor. Just a silly bird. Just now, a group leader came to pull people and saw Li Shengyao. He immediately asked him to get in a car, saying it was 50 yuan per day, but Li Shengyao refused. The eyes of the nearby group performances were wide-eyed. These ordinary group performances will last for 20.1 days. Li Shengyao refused in 51 days. Isn't this a silly bird? If it were Li Shengyao 3 days ago, he would definitely agree, but Li Shengyao in front of him naturally had to refuse because his body had already changed its soul. 3 days ago, special actor Li Shengyao had just completed a day of filming and then bought a box of beer. He drank himself to death in a rented house. Li Shengyao, who came from the School of Motion Picture Arts at the University of Southern California in later times, traveled across the country and became the owner of this body. At the age of 33, Li Shengyao has just become the youngest professor in the directing department of the School of Motion Picture Arts at the University of Southern California. He has 5 years of experience as an executive director on set, and has been invited by a Hollywood company to direct commercial films, but unfortunately, he has inexplicably traveled through time. His parents passed away early, and he passed away when he was 7 or 8 years old. Fortunately, he was left with some money to grow up with his uncle. My uncle is average to him. If it weren't for the sake of inheritance, he wouldn't have raised him at all. He has little attachment to his past loved ones. The original owner was just 20 years old and had been practicing martial arts since childhood. He looked handsome and aspired to become a new martial arts superstar in China. This body condition is very good, young and energetic. But Li Shengyao doesn't want to become any kung fu star. Movies are the art of directors, and actors are just puppets following the director's instructions. The School of Motion Picture Arts at the University of Southern California is the best art school in the world, and he is the youngest professor at this institution. He has a wealth of theoretical knowledge and a deep understanding of world film and television dramas. He watched 5 movies every day for several years and studied popular movies and TV dramas around the world carefully. His dream is to become the king of the world in the field of film and television. Big Brother, the appeal of action superstars like Stallone is declining, and the people are becoming less and less fond of watching traditional action movies. What kind of kung fu superstar are you at this time? Only directors can possess vitality that spans decades. Spielberg rose to fame at the age of 23, and for the next half-century, he was one of the most influential filmmakers in Hollywood. Director Guo Shi made his debut later, starting directing in his 30s, but he remained the most charismatic director in China in his 70s. Li Shengyao wants to be such a director instead of being a selected actor. And he was surprised to find that after traveling, his memory was so good that it exploded. All the movies and TV shows he had watched and studied in his past life were deeply imprinted in his mind. Just now the group leader called him, it's only 50 yuan. Is he the kind of person who grovels for 50 yuan? It's impossible. Shaoli, my father is sick. I will come back tomorrow. I won't rent it next month. You can find someone else to share the apartment with. The speaker's name is Gui Yuan, 23 years old. He has been practicing kung fu since childhood and wants to become a kung fu superstar like the original owner. Good figure, but average appearance. He has been in Yanjing for 4 years. I didn't make any money, nor did I have any fame. The old father at home was sick and wiped away tears all night last night. He knew that perhaps this time he went back, his dream of becoming a kung fu superstar would be forgotten forever. Li Shengyao and Gui Yuan shared a basement apartment next to the West Station for 120 yuan per month, with the two sharing the expenses. Gui Yuan is leaving tomorrow, and if he can't find anyone to share the rent with next month, Li Shengyao will have to bear the rent alone. Li Shengyao glanced at the crouching group performance, then shook his head and said, I won't rent it either. Let's go. It's my treat today and I'll see you off. When Gui Yuan boarded the train, he was still wiping his tears and was reluctant to part with Yanjing. Li Shengyao waved at Gui Yuan and then left the train station. He told Gui Yuan not to rent, that's not a lie, it's the truth. The rental house is very narrow, about 10 square meters, with only a small window, no kitchen, no bathroom. If you want to use the bathroom, you have to go to the public restroom outside. More importantly, there is no ventilation, no sunlight and a musty smell inside. If you stay in such a place for a long time, even if you're not sick, you'll end up sick. Li Shengyao doesn't want to continue living in such a rental house. He plans to move to another place to live. However, this first requires money. The original owner was quite diligent, but this group of performances started every day and didn't save much money. Now he only has 1,200 yuan on him. If he takes it out to rent a house, then he'll eat shit. A penny can't defeat the hero, he frowned slightly and walked alone on the streets of Yanjing. At this time, China was in a period of rapid development, and the entire society was undergoing earth-shaking changes. However, overall, the development of the film and television industry is relatively lagging behind. Chinese movies and TV dramas cannot keep up with the aesthetic standards of the common people and cannot meet their spiritual needs. At this time, the film and television industry was not a popular project either. In the past few years, the main investors were Hong Kong and Taiwan businessmen. In the past 2 years, some coal bosses have gradually entered the market. The original owner came from an average family, born in a small county town. It's impossible for his family to spend money on making movies and TV dramas for him, he can only find a solution on his own. No money, no connections, no background. Where is his first bucket of gold? The huge glass wall reflects Li Shengyao's upright figure and handsome appearance. How about selling it? No, I can't even reach the wealthy woman if I want to sell. How about taking the college entrance examination again? No, I was in school from the age of 7 to 30.3 in my previous life, and I will never go to school again in this life. What should we do then? Li Shengyao stopped and stood still. Through the huge glass wall, he saw a luxury car dealership approaching. The luxury car stopped and a beautiful woman in her early 20s walked out. A middle-aged man in his 40s followed him off the car, holding hands and looking at each other, full of the flavor of love. A thought flashed through Li Shengyao's mind, and he quickly walked to the bus station to go back and write a script. He wants to come up with a script that is excellent enough to lure an actress who has been taken care of, and then invest in her to shoot a TV drama. Why not shoot a movie? That's because in this era, there are many requirements for movies, not only strict censorship, but also promotion, distribution, and connection with the cinema. And now he has nothing. The most important thing besides that is that movies don't make money. The highest grossing movie in China for 2000 years is Life and Death Decision, which is a main theme movie with viewing tasks and is not representative. In 1999, the total box office was only 900 million yuan, and the box office champion was Endless, with a total box office of 35 million yuan. Excluding costs, the final profit returned to Huai's hands does not exceed 5 million. The box office champion is the only one with this profit margin, and even if a newcomer enters, there is nothing to lose. It's best that in 7 or 8 years, the billion yuan box office for movies will be quite popular, and it's not too late for him to enter again, as he's still young. And TV dramas are much cheaper. Last year's Huanzhu Gugu 2 had a total production cost of only 10 million yuan, which is a popular historical drama with 48 episodes, totaling 200,000 episodes. Li Shengyao shoots a modern drama, 1 million is enough. For coal owners, they should be willing to accept it. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Emotional Hotel. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 2. Emotional Hotel. At 10 o'clock at night, in a basement outside Yanjing West Station, there were young people with long hair playing and singing guitar in the hallway, men holding wine bottles to drink, and glasses holding books. What time is it for her? Can you be quiet? Some people were dissatisfied and shouted, but no one paid attention to him. Unless you have 7 or 8 men, otherwise, these poor ghosts who only have one breath will not pay attention to him. Li Shengyao is also one of them. He knows how bad the living environment is and knows that complaining is useless. Making money and then leaving here is the right thing to do. He closed the door and then shielded himself from all the noise and unpleasant odors outside. He took out a stack of grass paper he had just bought, took out a ballpoint pen, and started writing seriously. Everything in this world is not easy, unless it's sweeping the streets. Otherwise, everything needs to be done with your mind and effort. To make those female celebrities tempted, it is natural to come up with a good enough script. At this time in China, the most popular dramas were actually ancient costume dramas, such as The Ming Palace Ci, Huanzhu Gu, Ji Xiaolan, Kangxi Dynasty, and so on. Entertainment professionals represented by Beijing have basically monopolized the Chinese film and television industry, occupying 70% of the market share. Then there is the Hong Kong and Taiwan circles, where these people occupy 3 parts. There are basically no splashes in other circles. In Li Xingyao's view, the aesthetic taste of this group of people in the Beijing area is still very high at this time. The TV dramas they shoot, whether in terms of costume and dialogue, all criticize the crude and shoddy things in Hong Kong and Taiwan. He naturally remembers many popular historical dramas, but the investment in these films and TV shows is too high. Even if he tries to save, it will cost 5 or 6 million yuan. Those coal bosses cannot vote for him. He can only avoid these heavily invested historical dramas. He plans to write a script for an idol drama. The main reason for writing idol dramas is that they are easy to shoot and have no cost, and secondly, they can indeed promote people. He believes that those female celebrities will also be tempted by the script. There are very few idol dramas in mainland China, and the only 2 popular idol dramas at this time are Carry Love to the End and It's All Angels Causing Trouble. But to be honest, the quality of these 2 dramas is not so excellent. The most important thing is that there are no tigers in the mountains, and monkeys are called kings. What is an idol drama? A TV drama that is naturally handsome and beautiful, and can attract a large number of fanatics. Whether it's Carry Love to the End or It's All Angels Causing Trouble, they actually don't attract much fans. Take a look at the idol drama of the peninsula at this time. Blue Life and Death Love. This drama is popular in Asia, which is the true idol drama. At this time, the people of the peninsula had not yet learned how to scan data. They had actually exported Song Qingxian, Yuan Bin, and Song Huiqiao. The Chinese film and television industry has never been good at producing idol dramas. The first idol drama in mainland China to have an impact overseas was A Smiling Smile is Beautiful, which can be considered as the first Chinese drama to explode overseas. Many people say that Huanzhu Gu Gu has become popular and has also exploded overseas, but it is actually a self-media hoax. Huanzhu Gu Gu is only popular in Annam and the peninsula, and not in other places. Annam has been ruled by China for thousands of years, and they are very familiar with the customs and culture of China. Not only Huanzhu Gu Gu, Desire, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms are very popular in Annam. Annan can actually be considered an inland province that does not speak Mandarin. Whether it's Huanzhu Gu Gu or Zhenhuan Zhuan, self-media often boast about global popularity, but in fact, they are all deceiving. It's just a winding fire in Annan. How could someone like to watch your costume dramas if they don't understand your cultural connotations? Only idol dramas in East Asia can potentially explode in the world. A Little Smile That's Beautiful has exploded in Southeast Asia and is also very popular in Arabia. Before deleting the YouTube, each episode had over 10 million views. Later, the 19th edition of the TV series, Meteor Garden, was similar, and it was very popular in Southeast Asia, Arabia, and South America. Shengyao plans to plagiarize a true idol drama, which will be The Grand Hotel, which will start filming next year. At the beginning of writing a 1 or 2 episode plot for a Korean drama, looking for investment, and then writing the script while filming, the Peninsula side definitely didn't produce the script at this time. This drama has exploded in the Peninsula, island countries, Bends, and Southeast Asia, and is also widely watched in mainland China. This drama created the second highest rated super ratings in Bend, and since then, for the next 10 years, Pei Yongjun will go to Bend every year to harvest. The wealthy woman in Bend offers a price of 1 million yuan per meal. The male and female leads in this drama are all very popular, and later have been remade by Island Country, Bend, Mainland China, and Titanium Country. Shengyao believes that as long as those female celebrities have some vision, they will definitely understand that this drama can attract people. It's midnight. There are still people drinking and shouting outside the basement. There is a very unpleasant odor in the air. Shengyao was in a hurry and quickly opened the door, locked it, and then left. After a moment, he returned to the rented house and passed by the corridor. Shaoli, will you go for a drink or not? A long-haired man shook his hair and raised his head. Shengyao is not interested. He doesn't drink alcohol, and these few people don't have money. It's uncertain who will treat them later. No, sleep. Damn it, can we give face? The long-haired man saw Shengyao refuse and felt embarrassed in front of his friends, his face looking a bit ugly. Shengyao stopped and quietly looked at the long-haired man. Who are you? What face do you have? Why should I give you face? The original owner has been practicing martial arts since childhood, with a tall figure. He can hit 3 with his bare hands without any problem, and he can hit 10 with one stick. Shengyao also enjoyed exercising in his past life. Although he had never practiced martial arts, he could practice boxing. He is not afraid of fighting. Another thing is that the noise outside just now was really annoying. Shengyao will certainly not give them face. The long-haired man and his group were all stunned, not expecting Shengyao to refute. Seeing Shenyao's sturdy arms and murmuring a few words, they didn't dare to say anything more. Naturally, they had heard of him, but he had been trained. If you don't have the ability, just keep a low profile. Everyone lives in the basement, and many people have to go to work tomorrow. You make a lot of noise and think you're really awesome, don't you? If you have the ability to make noise outside, will the police get used to you? Pretend to be an old man here, who should we show it to? Shengyao gave a few words of advice, then turned around and returned to his room. Turn on the lights and continue writing the script. He is the youngest professor in the directing department of the School of Film and Television Arts at Nanjing University, and naturally knows how to write scripts. The plot structure of Sentinel Hotel is still very solid. The emotional progression of male 1 female 1, male 2 female 2 is very reasonable, mainly characterized by love, friendship, and family. All characters face choices and ultimately make the best choices, each with their own growth. A character in a TV drama must have growth. A character without growth is not acceptable. Such a character is flat and lacks appeal. Overall, the Emotional Hotel is excellent in all aspects. The 28 episodes of the Korean version of the previous life drama, although not very long, should also take 7 or 8 days to write. Lee Shengyao patted his face when he was tired, got up and took a few steps before continuing to write. He hopes to write it out as soon as possible. He doesn't have much time, so he hopes to find an investment before the end of the month so that he can move out of this place. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. See you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. See you in March. Yenjing is still very cold. Standing on the street, I shiver in no time. Li Shengyao was wearing a pair of sports shoes and a thick cotton jacket. Although it wasn't cold, he looked very bloated. He has finished writing the script for Sentiment Hotel and registered it with the Copyright Office, which cost him 60 yuan. At this moment, he did not go to the entrance of the Film Academy, but came to an alley outside the HD area. He wants to find a female celebrity who is being taken care of by the coal boss, but he has seen many news in his past life. That female celebrity has an affair with the coal boss, but none of them have a real connection. So who should he look for? He could only search for a female celebrity who might have been taken care of by a coal boss in Yenjing. After careful investigation, Li Shengyao felt that Huasaiyan was more suspicious. This woman debuted as an important character in The Life of Poor Mouth Zhang Damon, followed by Ji Xiaolan, followed by scripts such as Women's Intestine and Young Emperor. The resources should not be too good. To be honest, unless there is capital to support her, Li Shengyao believes that an ordinary girl cannot have such resources right from the beginning. At this moment, the crew of The Life of Poor Mouth Zhang Damon was filming in the alley, and Li Shengyao was guarding here, waiting for Huasaiyan. "Brother, is there a fire?" Suddenly, 2 handsome men with a 70-point appearance appeared, one of whom was holding a cigarette in his hand. No, Li Shengyao shook his head. He didn't drink or smoke in his past life, but his original owner drank and died. He also plans to not drink or smoke in his lifetime. In fact, during this period of writing scripts, although he worked day and night, he would get up in the morning to run and exercise, and also practice the original owner's martial arts based on memory. Great directors all have good health, otherwise how can they bear those female celebrities? He doesn't want to go without enjoying it. Refuse smoking and drinking, start from me. To dampen the mood. The handsome guy put away his cigarette and whispered, "How did the filming go? Do you still want to perform in a group?" He thought Li Shengyao was waiting for the group performance here. Li Shengyao smiled and said, "Where are there any group performances in this drama?" The Life of Poor Mouth Zhang Damon mainly takes place in their small courtyard and does not require any group performances. What are you waiting for here? Li Shengyao shook his head and said, "I can't say." The 2 handsome young men pouted, both feeling that Li Shengyao was trying to make things mysterious, but did not refute him. Poor Mouth Zhang Damon was later known as Di Pangpang, who was an absolute powerhouse. Li Shengyao plans to become wealthy in the future and must first film a few films of Di Renjia to make money. He stood like this for a whole day. I only found out when the show ended that there was no play by Hozyen today, and he didn't even come. To dampen the mood. Li Shengyao shook his head and then grabbed the informant, handing over a pack of cigarettes. "Brother, when will Huasaiyan come to film?" The cigarette was bought long ago, a 10 yuan Marlboro. It can also be considered a good cigarette. The field worker squinted his eyes and looked over, with a hint of understanding in his eyes. Little brother, Huasyan is indeed beautiful, but his size is just a corner. He doesn't like people like us. Just put an end to this. Li Shengyao nodded and said, hey, I understand this truth too, but there are some things I just want to say, otherwise it won't be enjoyable. I don't know when Hosyan will come, you wait. When she comes, I'll come out and give you a wink. The workers then left. Li Shengyao then found 2 more workers and delivered 2 packages of Marlboro before returning to rent a room to sleep. On the 3rd day, 2 workers went out of the alley one after another to impress Li Shengyao, and there was also a bastard who took a cigarette and didn't do anything. Li Shengyao knew that Huasyan had arrived, so he stared closely at the entrance of the alley. The Happy Life of Poor Mouth Zhang Daimon is Huasyan's first TV drama. She should have a manager now, and it's hard to say if she has an assistant. If not, that would be great. He only needs to deceive Hosyan in the first place. If so, the difficulty level will increase significantly, perhaps to deceive 2 people. Of course, the premise for all of this is that she has been taken care of by the coal boss. In case she is innocent, Li Shengyao can only work for nothing. Due to the cold weather, many people are wearing down jackets or large cotton jackets, hats, and looking down is not easy to recognize. At this moment, Li Shengyao couldn't care too much. When women came in and out, he kept a close eye on them. He didn't even have lunch to wait for Hosyan. But it wasn't until noon that Hosyan didn't come out. Of course, it's also possible that he left in a small car, and there's nothing he can do about it. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the sky was dark and the cold wind was blowing. Li Shengyao kept his eyes wide open and chattered. At this moment, a man and a woman walked out of the alley. The man was not tall and had an average appearance, but he should be quite wealthy. He wore a watch on his wrist and a string of gold chains around his neck. The girl lowered her head, unable to see her clearly. Yen, let's go. There are many people waiting, you're not giving me face like this. What is my relationship with you, who are you, and why do I give you face? Does this sound familiar to you? Li Shengyao's eyes lit up and he followed over. He vaguely felt that this girl was Hosyan. Do you feel like you're a character just because you're filming TV dramas? The girl didn't answer and walked forward with her head down. Hosyan, listen carefully. I've been chasing you for 3 months. If you keep moving forward, I'll chase you again in the future. I'm a son of a bitch's grandson. It is indeed Hosyan. Brother, thank you. Li Shengyao was very happy and strode over. Hosyan in front did not stop and continued to walk forward with great strides. The boy saw it, stomped his foot, and left with a hum. Good mother. Li Shengyao was a bit speechless, and then he had some doubts. If Hosyan was really taken care of, would this sissy continue to pursue her? He is unsure whether to continue following. However, I have already consumed 3 packs of cigarettes, so I cannot do nothing at this time. He quickened his pace and said, Hosyan, please wait a moment. Huasyan turned his head and looked at Li Shengyao in surprise. She has a pair of very beautiful eyes, not very big, but round and very gentle. The nose is small, and the mouth is also small. There is still some baby fat on the face. This face can score 85 points, not as good as Lu Tianxian, but much better than the group of flowers born after 1995. The scale ahead is grand, at least D, and neither father nor son will be hungry. Are you looking for me? Li Shengyao had countless thoughts in his mind, and finally decided to tell a lie, I really like you. For your sake, I wrote a TV drama script. Do you want to see it? End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Peak Turn. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Peak Turn. The wind in March in Yanjing is cool, and there are not many people on the streets. Huasyan widened his eyes and couldn't trust Li Shengyao. Is this a new way of approaching someone? Is it transmitted from Hong Kong and Taiwan? Writing a script to pursue girls. You must not be able to write a notebook so young. She was stunned for 2 or 3 seconds, then shook her head and said, sorry, let's just forget about it. As the words fell, Ho Yen was about to leave. Li Shengyao quickly said, take a look, this notebook is very good. If you shoot it, it will definitely become popular. This is a notebook designed according to Korean dramas. Korean dramas have already become popular at this time. Blue Life and Death goes without saying, the previous Star Trek was widely popular in Asia. Upon hearing this, Hwa-Sion stopped to look at Li Shengyao and said, are you sure? I'm sure there's a noodle shop ahead. I'll treat you to some noodles. How about eating and watching as you go? Hwa-Sion still thinks it's unreliable, but women in the capital are quite atmospheric. She is small and delicate, but not a timid person. Driven by curiosity, she still agreed. After a moment, Li Shengyao led Hwa-Sion into the noodle shop, took out the script hidden in his arms, and then ordered a bowl of noodles. Ho Yen didn't want noodles and ordered a bottle of soy milk. She then opened the script and started reading it. The script is completely handwritten, and Li Shengyao's handwriting is very beautiful. He has specifically practiced it in his past life. Hwa-Sion glanced at Li Shengyao and felt an additional recognition in his heart, then continued to look. The male and female protagonists of Sentiment Hotel are respectively the manager of a large hotel and the customer service supervisor. They were good friends during their college years and had a good impression of each other, but they always got along like brothers, arguing with each other without breaking the last layer of paper. In the previous plot, the female protagonist was the more anxious one. She had tried to change this relationship before, but unfortunately, to her disappointment, in the male protagonist's heart, career came first. The early plot was smooth and interesting, and the female lead had many embarrassing and funny events. Although Hwa-Sion did not attend college, his family were all intellectuals, and he still had a basic aesthetic. She thinks this notebook is very interesting, and just the previous plot is enough to keep people going. Did you really write it? Of course it's true, I have already registered with the Copyright Bureau. Hwa-Sion didn't continue reading. She closed the script and pushed it to Li Shengyao, it's pretty good. If it's filmed, it should be popular. She thought for a moment, and it seemed that this script was indeed somewhat similar to Korean dramas. Of course, these things have nothing to do with her. She has already joined the group and knows how difficult it is to shoot a TV drama, as well as how much money and network it will cost. Even if this notebook was really written for her, she doesn't think she can play the leading role in the female lead. Li Shengyao looked at Hwa-Sion's appearance and already had a judgment in his heart. This woman should not have been taken care of. She looks very calm and has pure eyes, unlike the kind of person who is corrupted by money. That is to say, Ho Yen has no gold owner and no money. However, he still wants to give it a final try. Anyway, they have all arrived, and saying a few more words won't kill him. Do you know wealthy people who are willing to invest? Hwa-Sion glanced up and said, is that why you came to me? She is very intelligent and sharp. Li Shengyao felt that there was nothing to hide at this moment. That's right, I've been in a group performance for over half a year, and I've read many scripts. I feel like they're all in a mess, and it's better if I write them myself. So I wrote one. If I shoot this script, it will definitely become popular. I don't know wealthy people who are willing to invest, Ho Yen said with a look of surprise and admiration. Li Shengyao nodded, finished the noodles, and the two parted ways. Seeing Li Shengyao walking cleanly, Hwa-Sion further recognized that Li Shengyao had no ill intentions towards her. Thinking of that excellent notebook, he couldn't help but feel a little tempted. But she has just entered the industry and relies on family connections, so she doesn't really know any wealthy investors. Perhaps Dandan knows each other. She suddenly thought of her good friend Yen Danchen, who came from Yenjing Film Academy and was a classmate of Zhao Yanzi. She had already started filming. Thinking of this, Huasyan turned around and shouted to Li Shengyao, "I have a good friend. Maybe she knows people who are willing to invest. Do you want to give it a try?" Li Shengyao was overjoyed, but he didn't expect the road to turn. Naturally, he was willing to give it a try. "Of course you can. Okay, wait a moment, I'll make a phone call." Yan Danchen comes from Hunan province. His father is a trade union leader and his mother is a hospital accountant. His family conditions are good. She lives in a residential area, which is much more spacious than Li Shengyao's basement. When Huasyan saw Yan Danchen with Li Shengyao, her eyes were full of surprise and she looked at Huasyan in confusion. Li Shengyao understood Yan Danchen's concerns and acted very seriously. Huasyan pulled Yan Danchen aside and whispered about Li Shengyao. "He's so young, is he 20? What kind of notebook can he write?" "Sure, why did I lie to you? I didn't believe it at first, but I saw it and it was really good." "Really?" "Really." After a moment, Yan Danchen took Li Shenyao's script and read it carefully. She has already entered the industry and has starred in TV dramas. Moreover, she is already a professional performer, so she naturally understands the quality of the script. Compared to Huasyan, she is more professional. Originally, she thought it was because Huasyan had poor aesthetics and had not seen the world before. But upon closer inspection, she found that this notebook was really good, even more attractive than Hong Kong and Taiwan fashion dramas. If it's really taken, maybe it can really catch fire. There are Zhao Yanzi, Xiao Minga, and Factory Flower in their class. Zhao Yanzi goes without saying that she has become famous throughout the country, and Xiao Ming and Zhang Hua have already gained the support of big shots. Xiao Ming is said to be talking about the Emperor of Han, while Chang Hua is talking about like fog, like wind, and like rain. Her starting point is actually very high. In her sophomore year, she made a movie called Carrying Dad to School and even won an award. She also made Rainy Season, which is a movie that at least 60% of middle school students across the country have watched. When I was in high school, the school organized a viewing, and I didn't know about the situation of others. There were probably many people watching, right? She was supposed to be one of the best developed classmates in the class, but unfortunately, there's nothing left now. She will go to the south in September to shoot a messy ancient costume drama called The Wanderer, which tells the story of Shengyao Jin and appears to be a fake TV drama. She doesn't even know how to plan for the future. This notebook makes her very tempted. "What are your plans?" She said this to Li Shengyao. "I am currently short of money. As long as the money is in place, I can shoot immediately and definitely become popular." He is the youngest professor at the School of Motion Picture Arts at the University of Southern California. Although he specializes in directing, he has expertise in photography, script, and directing. He is capable of any job in the filming of the set. "Who is the director?" "Of course it's me." In the surprised gazes of Yan Danchen and Huasyan, Li Shengyao was full of confidence. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Agreed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Agreed. Most afraid of a sudden silence, Li Shengyao's words fell, and Huasyan and Yan Danchen both stared at him, their beautiful eyes full of doubt and doubt. Huasyan reacted faster and said, "Oh, we don't bring this kind of thing." "How old are you? Have you ever touched a camera?" Li Shengyao's biggest weakness is not his silence and lack of fame, but his youth, lack of education, and lack of resume. Whether it's making a movie or a TV series, it's a big project. As the saying goes, a hairless mouth makes things difficult, and no one will trust a young man of 20. Li Shengyao naturally understands his own shortcomings. He knew he was going to intensify his deception. "Of course I've touched the camera, and I've even filmed movies while sitting behind the director's monitor. You'll know in the future." Yan Danchen and Huasyan rolled their eyes together. Huasyan felt a bit embarrassed. After all, Li Shengyao was brought over by her. Alright, you wrote a good notebook, but it's absolutely impossible for you to become a director. Let me see you. Why don't you go to those film and television companies to see who needs your script? Domestic screenwriters are at the bottom of a film and television series, and anyone can step on them, and their salaries are pitifully low. Shengyao has no reputation. He really took the script and sold it for 10,000 yuan, which is considered a sky-high price. He doesn't want to suffer such losses. Huasaiyan doesn't know any gold mine owners, but Yan Danchen has already entered the industry and graduated from Yanjing Film Academy. Maybe she knows some coal mine owner. With this in mind, Shengyao ignored Huasaiyan and said to Yan Danchen, "This is a good notebook that can definitely become popular. Don't you want to take a gamble?" Zhao Yanzi, Chen Kuan, and Xiao Minga are about to be released one by one. If you don't get up now, it will be even more difficult for you to develop in the future. The female lead is very fan-drawn and has a very good persona, which can be said to perfectly match you. I don't want you to pay, nor do I want you to do anything. Just introduce me to wealthy people. He said it was written for me, but now he says it fits perfectly with Yan Danchen. Hosian's white eyes are about to roll over to the Pacific Ocean. She stood up to pull Shengyao away. Shengyao stared at Yan Danchen and said, "Give me another 2 minutes, I'll tell you something." Yan Danchen also felt that Shengyao was arrogant, but he was curious about what Shengyao would say. "You say. Go to the balcony and say." After a moment, the two of them arrived at the balcony, and Shengyao said, "Do you think that if I could write such a notebook, I would be an inexperienced layman?" This statement makes sense. The script for The Grand Hotel is very solid, and it doesn't look like it was written by a beginner. Yan Danchen's refusal quietly opened a small gap in his heart. Shengyao continued, "You only joined the production team in September, a seemingly insignificant female lead that can be filmed in half a month. If we have the money now, we can quickly pull up the production team for The Grand Hotel, and it will definitely not delay you from filming the next drama. Don't you want to take a gamble? This kind of drama must have 2 ratings. At this time, there are no smartphones, computers are not widely available, and the vast majority of people will watch the TV after work. For example, the average viewership rate of Huanzhu Gugu is 47%, and the highest viewership rate reaches 62%. This is a phenomenon-level TV drama. Normally, TV dramas like The Great Mansion Gate and The Taiping Heavenly Kingdom can reach ratings of around 15%. This seems to easily reach 2%. But in reality, it's very difficult. In this era, CCTV dramas are popular, and everyone watches these dramas. Compared to the poor ratings of local TV stations, Xiangnan TV is one of the top local TV stations, with their highest ratings being Huanzhu Gugu. This phenomenon-level TV drama is not included. In addition, their highest ratings are De Changjin with a rating of 3.88%, followed by In the Name of the People with an average rating of 3.66%. It's rare for Xiangnan TV to receive 2 ratings, let alone other TV stations. Most other TV stations have ratings below a certain point. Shengyao has said 2 points, which are definitely not an easy task. Upon hearing this, Yan Danchen glanced at Shengyao and said, "I don't have any money. Don't you know the coal boss?" This is impolite. But she really knows the coal boss. In the past 2 years, coal bosses have gradually started to rise up. They are sensible people who often drive luxury cars to the entrance of the film academy for a stroll. There was once a coal boss who pursued Yan Danchen. However, her family is wealthy, so naturally she doesn't look up to these nouveaux riches. But she doesn't like it, there are some girls in the college who have hooked up. These young students all want to enter the entertainment industry, and as far as she knows, many people are holding money and planning to invest in it. I used to know a few coal bosses who pursued me, but I didn't agree. I wouldn't go find them, but I have a junior. Li Shengyao immediately understood Yan Danchen's meaning and said, "How about we form a team and have the girlfriend of Cole Boss play the second female lead?" Yan Danchen looked up at Li Shengyao and saw his young face, still feeling unreliable. "You're too young, they won't invest money. How do you know if you don't give it a try? You haven't had much to do at home lately, why don't you give yourself a chance?" Upon thinking about it, Yan Danchen suddenly felt that it made sense. Anyway, the TV series, The Wanderer, that she joined in September was a mess, and there was no need to prepare anything in advance. Just read the lines. Can you prepare again and draw the director's storyboard? Can you draw it? Of course, I am a professional director. Okay, come find me the day after tomorrow and I'll show you the person. After a moment, Li Shengyao and Huasayan left the community together. Where do you live? I'll take you back. Huasayan already knew the plan of Li Shengyao and Yan Danchen, and his eyes rolled up in the sky. You said it was written for me, and you also said you like me. Where do you like me? Li Shengyao was in a good mood and said to Huasiyenko, I like it everywhere. Pooh, rogue. Li Shengyao put away his smile and said seriously, if I can succeed this time, I will not forget your recommendation. If there is a suitable role in the future, I will definitely come to you. From previous life information, it can be seen that Huasayan is a woman with very strong adaptability. When she wasn't popular, she silently acted, and when she had the opportunity, she worked hard to make a name for herself. Later, when she got pregnant, she got married and had children honestly. She has some black material, but who in the entertainment industry doesn't? It's already difficult for someone to have a safe and secure relationship after marriage. Li Shengyao is still very willing to socialize with Huasayan. Huasayan glanced at Li Shengyao's handsome face and nodded, I remember. After sending Huasayan home, he rushed back to the rental room without stopping, and Yan Danchen's suggestion was not wrong. Now he doesn't have a camera, it's good to draw a director's storyboard manuscript, at least it looks more professional. He plans to hurry up and draw the storyboard manuscripts for the first 3 episodes in the next 2 days. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Planning Proposal. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Planning Proposal. It's not difficult to draw shots, almost every director knows how to draw. In the eyes of professionals, different directors have different storyline styles. After all, everyone has different perspectives on problems. For example, if a mother sees rain, she may wonder if her child brought an umbrella to school. A working person may wonder if the boss might fall when it rains, so there's no need to work overtime tonight. This is because the perspectives on problems are different. In fact, whether it's a movie, TV series, or novel, the themes expressed are often similar. Praising love, praising family, cherishing friendship, and praising patriotism. Ultimately, it is these emotions that the director or writer is not looking at what to express, but at how they express and tell the story. Li Shengyao is not a dead brain, nor does he feel that he needs to make more adaptations. The original work has already been very successful, and he does not need to add any other ideas. In the small rental room, he recalled the plot while accurately drawing the split shots. Although he is not original, he still feels a great sense of achievement when he sees each piece of paper. Chinese directors in this era do not know how to film idol dramas, or rather disdain to do so. Whether it's directors from mainland China, Hong Kong, or Taiwan, the idol dramas they produce actually lack aesthetic appeal. Even the soon-to-be popular Meteor Garden relies on the high looks of a male lead and a female lead, and there is nothing else that can be said to have any redeeming qualities. Taking any screenshot will make you feel cheap and impetuous. Mainland China does not have the development soil for idol dramas, while Hong Kong and Taiwan are the same group of directors who want to save money, simplify everything, and rush time, resulting in a lump of defense. That's why Hong Kong and Taiwan dramas can be popular in mainland China, Annam, and among the Malay Chinese, but no one watches them in other places. It's too ugly. Who would like to see fake and deadly scenes, as well as cheap clothing and clothing that are similar to roadside stalls? Korean dramas as a whole have borrowed from the filming system of Beautiful Country. Although many of their historical dramas look very awkward and crude, fashion dramas are mostly dressed in traditional Chinese costumes, with excellent visuals and music. That's why Korean dramas can become popular while Chinese dramas can't. The Grand Hotel will be Lee Sing-yu's first TV drama to be filmed, and he hopes to make it beautiful and beautiful. At this time, the shot quality is particularly serious. Brothers, drink. Today there is wine, today there is drunkenness, and flowers bloom and must be folded. I just touched that girl's butt, it's really satisfying. In the corridor outside the rental house, a group of people are going crazy again. Li Shengyao frowned slightly, then blocked all external interference and focused on doing his own thing. He drew quickly, and by the time he went to bed, he had already drawn 2 episodes of split-shot manuscripts. The next morning, Li Shengyao woke up early, then washed up and went for morning exercises outside. Is Yanjing the capital and there are many parks? He ran and practiced boxing in the Lotus Pond Park next to the West Station for an hour, sweating profusely, and then walked back satisfied. Passing by a small stall, he bought 3 baskets of meat buns. Li Shengyao likes to eat meat and enjoys it all. He doesn't really like being a vegetarian. He felt like he was eating meat suddenly, and his whole body was much more energetic and not easily sleepy. Of course, for nutritional purposes, he would still eat a lot of vegetarian food. Returning to the rental room, Li Shengyao continued to divide the shots. As the name suggests, the drama, Sentinel Hotel, mainly tells the story of being in a big restaurant. This Grand Hotel is actually a 5-star hotel with dining, accommodation, fitness, and other entertainment facilities. Overall, there are relatively few places that require scenery. Just find a stylish and modern 5-star hotel. In this situation, Li Shengyao's split shot is also very fast. He drew 2 more episode shots in the morning, and Li Shengyao estimated that he would be able to draw the 9th episode shot before going to bed tonight. This should be sincere enough. However, Li Shengyao tore open the instant noodles in his hand, put the pancakes into an iron basin, and then poured the hot water he had just filled back into it. He took a book and covered it on the iron basin. He is still too young, he doesn't look like a director, but rather like a business card worker. Although the coal boss is jokingly referred to as a nouveau riche, he is not really a fool. If Li Shengyao were the coal boss, he wouldn't have invested his money in a young man. Unless he doesn't care and doesn't expect to make a comeback, he just wants to hold on and play. Just such a generous coal boss, I don't know if he can meet him. Li Shengyao thought for a moment and looked at the split-shot manuscript in his hand. There were already 4 episodes of manuscripts, which should be enough. He might as well make more preparations. For example, creating a proposal for the coal boss to see, there is great hope for him to make money from this drama. Li Shengyao thought for a while and felt that this idea was correct. He needed to do more comprehensively. He then put down the split-shot manuscript and began writing the plan for the Sentimental Hotel, starting with the initial script, discussing its benefits and development prospects. Then he analyzed the investment in this drama, from the actor's salary to the wages of the field workers, as well as the expenses for props, food, accommodation, and other aspects, all of which he wrote down one by one. It is stated that this drama will be filmed in Shanghai. Why go to Shanghai? Of course, because Shanghai is currently the most fashionable city in mainland China. Idol dramas need to be beautiful, with beautiful characters and scenery. All kinds of visuals should be fashionable and beautiful, so as to make people yearn for them. Next is the prospect of this drama. At this point, it seems like some great dramas can sell for a price of 200,000 episodes, while the more ordinary ones can generally have 70,000 to 80,000 episodes. The Grand Hotel has a total of 28 episodes, and if it were based on 70,000 episodes, it could sell nearly 2 million. If the cost is 1.5 million, after deducting nearly 25% of taxes, there is no profit, barely making a profit. However, this is only the first round of playback rights. If the ratings are good, there will inevitably be a second and third round of playback in the future, and then there will be some profits. In addition, this drama was later remade by several regions and countries, and the copyright fee is not low. Of course, Shengyao won't write it up, so he only writes about the broadcasting rights and doesn't intend to write about the copyright. The copyright of the script he wrote naturally belongs to him, and Coal Boss only has the broadcasting rights and dividends for the first 3 rounds. Thinking and writing like this, Shengyao finished the plan for Emotional Hotel in the early morning. He then set the alarm and went to sleep. Closing his eyes, he couldn't help but think of tomorrow's events. If the Coal Boss could agree to invest, he would be able to complete the original accumulation. In the past life, this drama exploded in twists and turns, ranking second in annual viewership with at least 100,000 episodes. It can make a comeback just by focusing on twists and turns. When Shengyao thought of this, he immediately sat up and distributed the broadcast rights and dividends to the Coal Boss, which should only be in the mainland region, excluding twists and turns. He then proceeded to revise the proposal, limiting the distribution of broadcasting rights to only mainland China. After revising the plan, he closed his eyes, but couldn't help but daydream for a long time before falling asleep. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. I Must Be a Director. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. I Must Be a Director. Qinghe Coffee Shop is a coffee shop located outside the Yanjing Film Academy. The decoration is good, very fashionable, and looks quite similar. At 9:30 a.m., the coffee shop had only 2 tables of customers. One of the tables is Shengyao and the others. Shengyao and Yan Danchen sit on one side, while Lu Shaoqing and Zhao Shan sit on the other side. Lu Shaoqing is 20 years old this year, a sophomore student in the performance department of the Film Academy. She is quite beautiful and has a beautiful family, with a score of 80. Zhao Shan is also very young, 25 years old, with an average appearance and figure. He is what Yan Danchen called the coal boss who pursues Lu Shaoqing. However, unlike the arrogant nouveau riche in his impression, Zhao Shan should be a second-generation coal miner. He looks like an ordinary college student, with a kind face and a soft and gentle voice, not outstanding at all. However, the Maserati parked outside by this person is still very conspicuous. Shengyao had never heard of Lu Shaoqing in his past life, and this woman did not become a celebrity. Perhaps she will marry Zhao Shan and have children after graduation. He entered the coffee shop and saw Zhao Shan, knowing that today's matter was not that easy. At this moment, Yan Danchen and Shengyao successively stated the purpose of this time, while Zhao Shan nodded and did not answer. "Senior sister, can I take a look at the script?" Lu Shaoqing was quite proactively. Shengyao nodded and then took out the script. "Look, this is my handwritten script." Lu Shaoqing took over the script and then carefully read it. She read it very slowly. After all, she was a college student and had a basic aesthetic sense. She quickly discovered that the script was good and whispered to Zhao Shan that it was good. Zhao Shan doted on Lu Shaoqing and didn't say much. Lu Shaoqing watched for 2 hours, feeling tired from sitting. She got up and took Yan Danchen outside to breathe. After the 2 girls left, Zhao Shan said, "Shaoli, did you write this script?" "Shaoli, okay, that's quite friendly." Shengyao nodded and said, "It was written by me." "What is your purpose for making a TV drama?" "I like it, I want to work in the industry I love." "Isn't Yan Danchen your girlfriend?" It seems that this dog misunderstood. "Of course not, I just wanted to find investors through her." "Who is the director?" Indeed, it is this issue again. In the eyes of the vast majority of people, the director is very important for a play to be good or bad. Shengyao was well prepared and said calmly, I am the director. Zhao Shan's expression was as expected, and he continued, does that mean that my investment in this money is just a waste of water? His point is that this TV drama is unsold and nobody wants it. Li Shengyao shook his head and then took out the proposal he had sat on yesterday, handing it over. You can take a look, he said. Zhao Shan took over the proposal and read it carefully. 15 minutes later, he smiled and said, your proposal is based on the premise that your drama has good quality and can be sold. But you're so young, how do you know you're definitely capable? Young people have confidence in themselves, which is a good thing, but there should be a limit. You are only 20 years old, why do you think you must be able to do it? Li Shengyao understood Zhao Shan's concerns and was not angry about Zhao Shan's words. However, he certainly has very strong confidence in himself and also has great confidence in this drama. It's just that he can't prove his abilities except for his verbal skills. We can only emphasize the script. This script is really good, it can definitely make your girlfriend famous. Zhao Shan pursed his lips as he didn't read the script and didn't think the play could be very good. However, considering that Lu Shaoqing likes it, he is willing to take a step back. You're too young. If you sell me the script, I can buy it at a premium. How about that? If you want to shoot a TV drama, when the filming starts, I will arrange for you to join the production team and ask for your help to learn the filming experience. Zhao Shan's reaction is normal and friendly. Li Shengyao understood that this was Zhao Shan's bottom line. He shook his head and said, no, this is the script I wrote. The copyright must belong to me. I won't sell it, and it should be directed by me. He is not someone who knows what to do, and understands that continuing the discussion will only make it more awkward and divisive. Unfortunately, we cannot cooperate this time, and we hope to have the opportunity to cooperate again in the future. This is not an uneducated coal boss, but a smart second-generation coal worker. Li Shengyao was well prepared and did not feel disappointed. He then paid the bill and left. After a moment, Yan Danshan caught up. She has a rare oval face in the entertainment industry nowadays, and her appearance has an ancient charm. Her ancient attire is much better than modern attire. At this moment, I walked fast and my face turned a little red, becoming even more beautiful. Can't we? Well, thank you this time. If I have a suitable role in the future, I will definitely consider you first. Yan Danshan is very beautiful, and in Li Shengyao's heart, she can score 90 points. There is no harm in maintaining a relationship with such a beautiful woman. Yan Danshan nodded silently without saying a word. Just then, Lu Shaoqing chased after him and ran to Li Shengyao. Zhao Gu knows a coal boss who is quite wild and has already started a film and television company. He doesn't care about the quality of the TV series, he just wants to invest money to shoot them. Your notebook is good, so you should be able to shoot. However, when the time comes, it can't be said that you are the director. It has to be said that someone else is the director. When the filming starts, you can just go directly and ask if the originally scheduled director has run away. How's it going? There are cautious coal bosses, and naturally there are also wealthy and panicked coal bosses. No matter how much money they have, they won't trust a young man who is only 20 years old. Zhao Shan's proposal is considered quite normal. Just this should be considered fraud. Although Li Shengyao had previously tricked Huasyan and Yan Danshan, he only wanted to rely on them to bridge the gap, not really to seek their interests. He had a conversation with Zhao Shan, which was also about telling his true situation. He thinks that things related to money cannot be deceitful. This is his bottom line. He thought for a moment, shook his head, and said, I don't want to deceive anyone. If possible, I still want to go there in person and explain it clearly to people. The copyright belongs to me, and I can give them broadcasting rights and dividends. I must be a director. Upon hearing these words, Lu Shaoqing's face showed disappointment. She really likes that script and wants to film it. But who would agree to a young man of 20 as a director? At this moment, Zhao Shan walked over and looked at Li Shengyao with surprise in his eyes. He thought Li Shengyao would agree, but unexpectedly refused. He realized that Li Shengyao's character was much better than he thought, but having good character does not necessarily mean having strength. A 20-year-old director, that's ridiculous. Is it just giving up like this? Seeing Lu Xiaoqing's disappointed gaze and Li Shengyao's candid gaze, he thought for a moment and said, "Okay, let me take you over and chat. Whether it works or not depends on your own abilities." End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Dafu Film and Television Company. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Dafu Film and Television Company. I just know about this person, it's circulating in the community, I've met twice, but I'm not sure exactly what he thinks. But you don't have to be nervous, he is a very talkative person and treats people very warmly. Zhao Shan spoke and led Li Shengyao and his companions to an office building. Soon after, they arrived at the 8th floor and entered the office of a Dafu Film and Television Company. The office space of this company is not large, with one lobby and several offices, covering approximately 200 square meters. At this moment, there were only 3 people sitting at work in the lobby, with computers on their desks but none turned on. All 3 of them were reading martial arts novels. One of the people saw Zhao Shan, greeted him, and then knocked on the door of an office. "Cousin, we have guests, hurry up and make tea," they said. He then walked to another room and knocked on the door. "Uncle, we have guests." A moment later, Li Shengyao saw the coal owner this time. Li Dafu. This is a real coal boss, in his 50s, about 1.6 meters tall, thin, but in good health. It is evident that he used to work in the sun and had dark skin. He was indeed very enthusiastic, greeting Li Shengyao and the others for tea, and then having the tea-making girl serve a fruit plate, as well as a variety of snacks and cookies. "Everyone eat, hurry up and eat. You're welcome, there's still a lot in the room." Li Shengyao thought of visiting relatives during festivals in his past life, and that's how they greeted him. Zhao Shan was very natural. He took the lead in eating and then chatted with Li Dafu for 20 minutes about their daily routine. It was only then that they expressed their purpose for this time. Upon hearing this, Li Dafu's eyes lit up and he said, "Little classmate, do you have a great script?" Li Shengyao immediately handed over the script. "Oh, this character is written beautifully, similar to what our village chief wrote." Li Dafu watched for 2 minutes, then returned it to Li Shengyao. "Our company was established for 3 months, and I thought I could shoot TV dramas, but no one wanted to do it." Li Shengyao and his team were all somewhat surprised. "As long as you have the funds, how come no one is willing to take photos?" Li Dafu continued, "I am from a rural area. I have loved watching movies since I was young. When I was in my teens, I watched Tunnel War and Landmine War, which were really beautiful. At that time, I thought that when I got rich, I would make my own movies and act on my own. But now movies are not easy to make, so I want to shoot TV dramas first, but TV dramas are also not easy to make, and there are no suitable ones for me." Everyone looked at each other. As long as they had money, wouldn't it be easy to be a passerby? Li Shengyao was the first to react and said, "Boss Li, are you going to be the male lead?" "Yeah, I want to be the male lead. There are indeed few male protagonists in their 50s who have become vulgar. No wonder there is no one taking photos even if there is money." Zhao Shan's face was a bit strange. Li Shengyao's script was an idol drama, so it was naturally impossible for Li Dafu to play the male lead. Li Shengyao's brain was spinning rapidly, and he knew that there were several dramas where the male lead was a silly little old man. So should we shoot such a drama for the sake of money first? If that's the case, his plan will change. At this time, rural dramas were not yet very popular, and it was impossible for them to sell well. If he only sells his broadcasting rights in mainland China like this, even if he can receive a 20% profit dividend, a drama may only earn at most 170,000 to 180,000 yuan. It's not primitive accumulation at all. He still wants to make millions from a single drama in one go. Little student, do you have any TV dramas that I can play? Li Shengyao pondered for a moment and said, yes, there is, but I don't want to shoot it at the moment. I have already written the script and I need to shoot this drama first. Li Dafu was very excited. Do you really have a TV drama that I can play? Yes. So, you write the script and show it to me. If I think it's good, I'll invest in your current TV drama. After you finish filming this one, you can shoot it for me. At this moment, one of the three people reading martial arts novels looked up and said, Uncle, won't we shoot martial arts dramas anymore? Where can there be a novel in a martial arts drama where I am the male lead? Li Dafu's small eyes widened, looking a bit funny. Upon hearing these words, Li Shengyao felt great joy in his heart. He didn't expect Li Dafu to be willing to invest in The Sentiment Hotel first. After thinking for a moment, he said, Boss Li, the TV drama that I envisioned would be suitable for you is a comedy, just like I Love My Family. You are one of the leading actors, can you? Li Dafu clapped his hands and laughed, alright, the comedy is great. I just love watching I Love My Family. A few years ago, I was at the construction site and watched it every day after work. Little student, please write quickly. I have a pen here and 2 free offices. Please write quickly. Zhao Shan and several others were all surprised and looked at Li Shengyao. In their eyes, it was already very rare to write emotional hotel. Is it really okay to write comedy now? Especially Yan Danchen and Lu Shaoqing, the two of them are more worried. They are professional counterparts and know that comedy is more difficult than ordinary film and television dramas. After all, it's not easy to make people laugh and stir up emotions. Let the screenwriting class of Yanjing Film Academy write. Each class has over 30 people, and I'm afraid they won't be able to write it. Otherwise, I Love My Family was so popular back then, why hasn't there been such a film or television series in the future? It's just not easy to follow the trend, you can't even get a share of the pie. Li Shengyao was not affected, he nodded at Zhao Shan and a few people, chatted, and asked them to go back first. He stayed to write the script. After all, his rental room is dark, damp, and very noisy. Writing scripts here is quieter and faster. Yan Danchen thought for a moment and said, I'll stay and accompany you. She's not sure if Li Shengyao can handle it, but since she's not doing much now, why don't she stay? If Li Shengyao can really write a good comedy notebook, maybe she can find a role. Lu Xiaoqing's eyes rolled and immediately understood Yan Danchen's thoughts. I have nothing to do, I'll be with my senior sister, she said, okay, let's all stay. Zhao Shan naturally stayed behind. Li Dafu chuckled and said, Xiao Zhao, let's go and let the students write the script. Let's go to the office and play cards. After a moment, Li Shengyao entered a brand new office alone. Close the door, there is no sound outside, and the sound insulation here is excellent. There is a pot of tea, a bottle of cola, and a fruit platter on the desk. A scent of apples wafted in the room. This is much better than renting a house. Li Shengyao then sat down, spread out the manuscript, took out a ballpoint pen, and started writing. He saw that Li Dafu had just widened his small eyes, and he thought of a person who was Li Shunkai. That's the Shunkai young master from The Funny Family. Li Shunkai is a doctor inside, with a slightly different temperament from Li Dafu. However, this is simple. He made a slight change and wrote that young master Shunkai went to the countryside to do farm work when he was young. The Funniest Family is probably the funniest Korean drama, with a rating of 9.6 on Douban and an average viewership of 16% when broadcasted on the peninsula, which can be said to be unparalleled. When Li Shengyao wrote The Grand Hotel, he had the idea of writing the script for The Funny Family. Now take it out, it should be able to suppress Li Dafu. To clarify, the reason why I copied Korean dramas is not because I think Korean dramas are better. I just think that before 2015, Chinese dramas would not have been able to produce idol dramas, and such a genre was missing. I asked the protagonist to make up for it so that the peninsula people wouldn't harvest it, and I don't think Korean dramas can dominate mainland Chinese film and television. The most popular, De Chang Jin, has a rating of only 3.88%, while the same year's Jing Hua Yan Yun, Liang Jian, Halfway Couple, and Han Wu Da Di all had ratings above 7%. Hollywood movies now have over 50% of the box office share in the vast majority of countries. Only We and Third Brother can dominate Hollywood movies. Although Third Brother may not seem reliable in his daily life, he is actually an ancient civilization with his own pride. We are the same, foreign film and television dramas cannot dominate. I will also copy popular Korean dramas such as Winter Love Song, Stairs to Heaven, De Chang Jin, Romantic House, My Name is Kim San-shun, and so on. Only for harvesting the peninsula and island countries, as well as for bending. These film and television dramas in this book can never compete with CCTV dramas. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Finally investing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Finally investing. Still in the lobby of Dafu Film and Television Company, Li Shengyao was holding a bowl and burying his head in cooking. Others are reading the script, including Lu Shaoqing, Yan Danchen, Li Dafu, and Zhao Shan. It's already January 30th, noon by now. Lu Shaoqing and the others have already had lunch. Li Shengyao just asked them to eat first in order to rush through the script, and only then did they have lunch. The content of the first 2 episodes of Funny Family is still very funny. Shengyao has 2 sons and 3 grandsons. In theory, a large number of people have great power, but the whole family is not doing anything smoothly. He is a sleazy and sensitive old man, and his wife is a big stomach king with a good temper, but she is also cheap. The eldest son is silly, while the second son is frivolous and unreliable. The eldest daughter-in-law is a strong woman, very dominant, while the second daughter-in-law is a careless person. The first episode tells the story of them taking a family photo together, with endless laughter. Lu Shaoqing and the others couldn't help but laugh as they watched the script. After they finished reading the script, they all stared blankly at Li Shengyao. Everyone is not a fool, this script is really well written. Even Li Dafu finds it interesting. Big nephew, who am I playing? Of course it's Li Shengyao. Li Shengyao did not pay attention to the change in Li Dafu's address. Both of them have the surname Li, and he is in his 50s. It is not excessive to call him Big Nephew. Li Dafu nodded and said, "Okay, this character is great and very interesting." He thought of Mr. Fu, who I love my family, and thought that he could play such a character, which made him very excited. Big Nephew, should I go learn acting? Uncle, no need, just perform as you are. Li Shengyao is stubborn and fickle, incompetent and shameless. He is also despicable and likes to watch pornographic videos. Li Shengyao thinks that Li Dafu is very similar in all aspects except for being a bit dark. Okay, this is good. After Li Shengyao finished his meal, he put away his smile and said, "Uncle, this drama can shoot a total of 140 episodes. After you finish acting, you will definitely become famous. But although we were together 500 years ago, public is public, private is private. In terms of contracts, we need to have a good conversation." It is Li Shengyao's principle that matters involving money must be explained clearly. The original work of The Funny Family has a total of 167 episodes, but there are also some sensitive plot points involved in it, which cannot be reviewed. Li Shengyao must make some deletions, and he estimates that he can film around 140 episodes. Li Dafu heard that he could film 140 episodes, and his eyes lit up a bit. Later, Li Dafu pulled Li Shengyao into the office and he even called for a lawyer. Zhao Shan saw it and followed him into the room. After continuous bargaining for the next 3 hours, Shengyao, Dafu Film and Television Company, and Zhao Shan signed 2 agreements together. In these 2 agreements, Shengyao obtained the copyrights of Emotional Hotel and Funny Family, as well as overseas broadcasting rights, directing rights, and a 20% profit distribution for mainland broadcasting rights. And Dafu Film and Television Company will invest 1.3 million yuan in Sentiment Hotel and receive a 70% profit dividend from the mainland broadcasting rights of the drama. They will also invest 3 million yuan in The Funny Family and receive 70% of the mainland's profits from the drama. Zhao Shan invested 300,000 yuan in Emotional Hotel and 500,000 yuan in Funny Family, respectively, and received 10% of the profits and dividends. Shengyao originally planned to distribute only 3 rounds of broadcasting rights dividends in the planning book. But Dafu and Zhao Shan are not fools. They both believe that if the script is reliable, both dramas can make money, and both are arguing based on reason. Shengyao didn't persist in thinking about having one more friend and one more path. However, he firmly refuses to let go of copyright and overseas broadcasting rights. There are over 100 funny episodes for a family, and if one episode is sold for 100,000 yuan, it will be over 10 million yuan. There is no need to discuss this part. Of course, in fact, Zhao Shan and Dafu just casually mentioned it. At this time, Chinese dramas are almost unsold, and good dramas like Dream of the Red Chamber and Journey to the West are not even bought. They are not unaware that these are good dramas, but rather ideologically opposed, and they rarely buy big dramas that CCTV participates in. Only Romance of the Three Kingdoms was bought by CTV, but it was originally broadcasted during prime time, but later there were protests from the public and it was changed to a nighttime slot at 10 o'clock. At this time, looking at the mainland with its twists and turns gives them a natural sense of superiority, and they disdain to watch mainland dramas. And although they often play it on Annan's side, they don't pay for it. They openly steal it. Only Asia Television on Hong Kong Island regularly buys and broadcasts it. However, what Asia Television buys are all classics, and neither Zhao Shan nor Dafu believe that Hong Kong Island's television stations can watch Love Hotel and Funny Family. Neither of them cares much about overseas broadcasting rights. So a temporary production team was born, and Shengyao was still a screenwriter and director-producer. The screenwriter's remuneration was 20,000 yuan, the director's remuneration was 10,000 yuan, and the producer's remuneration was also 10,000 yuan. They made an appointment to go south to Shanghai in 5 days. During these 5 days, Shengyao needs to find a reliable photographer, as well as 2 or 3 professional field managers, deputy directors, and a confirmed lead actor. When Shengyao left Dafu Film and Television Company, his legs were light and he never expected to get an investment so soon. Zhao Shan was also quite emotional. He originally thought that Shengyao was unreliable as a director. But when Shengyao came up with the script for The Funny Family, his views changed at the time. There are very few young people who can write good scripts, and even the vast majority of students in the screenwriting class of Yanjing Film Academy do not have this ability. Shengyao has the ability to write scripts and may even be able to direct. The standards of ordinary people cannot be placed on geniuses. Furthermore, he is not the main pitcher, only investing 800,000 yuan. He thinks it is very cost-effective to assign 2 important roles to Liu Shaoqing. Yan Danshan occasionally turned to Shengyao, feeling a bit anxious in his heart. She has already confirmed that she wants to shoot Emotional Hotel, but she hasn't signed a contract yet. Who knows if Dafu would arrange for a woman to play the lead role. But Zhao Shan and Liu Shaoqing are here, and she doesn't say much. Not long after, Zhao Shan and Liu Shaoqing left with a sickly attitude, and Shengyao escorted Yan Danshan home. Thank you for this time. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, I will have Zhao Shan come to see you and confirm the performance. I don't know how much your salary is, so you can talk to Zhao Shan yourself. At this time, the actor's remuneration was still relatively low, with Su Yuping starring in 21 episodes of Brother Wu for a total of less than 50,000 yuan. Jin Suo is said to have 181 episodes, and Yan Danchen can basically compare Jin Suo's remuneration. However, Ant Xiangyao has a lot of money and wealth, and Li Shengyao and the others cannot compete. He thinks that the episode of 1510 is almost enough. Upon receiving this sentence, Yan Danchen finally relaxed his heavy heart and looked at Li Shenyao's gaze, adding a touch of tenderness. Do you want to go upstairs and sit down? Li Shengyao glanced at Yan Danchen and shook his head. Forget it, I still have to go back and prepare some things. Sitting upstairs does not mean going upstairs to do something, after all, it is still daylight. If it is at night, then the implication is more obvious. Li Shengyao definitely wants to go up and take a look. Anyway, he needs to drink a bowl of ginseng soup before leaving. Yan Danchen nodded and said, if you have anything, just come to me. I know some people the production team needs, and I can take you to find them. Li Shengyao waved his hand and then left. I can finally film now, and I'm thrilled to think about it. Next, quickly find someone and head south to Shanghai. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Photographers. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 10. Photographers. On this morning, the sun was shining brightly. Outside the entrance of the photography class of the Yanjing Film Academy, there stands a pair of handsome men and beautiful women. The boy is wearing black leather shoes, black casual pants with a black and white checkered shirt, and a long blue down jacket on the outside, which looks very fashionable. The girl is wearing light blue jeans, flat shoes, and a short-waist down jacket. The dress is simple, but she has a good figure. The jeans look straight and slender, very eye-catching. These two people are Li Shengyao and Yan Danchen. It has been 3 days since he signed the contract. Li Sanfa, the nephew of Li Dafu, is responsible for fund management. He is an honest person and directly paid Li Shengyao 30,000 yuan, claiming to be his director, producer, and screenwriter's compensation. There is still a final payment of 10,000, which will be transferred to Li Shengyao after the shooting is completed. He is not a stingy person. He transferred 10,000 yuan to the original owner's parents and then bought 2 sets of clothes, spending 1,500 yuan. The effect is still good. The original owner was tall, strong, and handsome. He put on new clothes, just like the students in the performance class. At this moment, Li Shengyao and Yan Danchen were standing outside the photography class teaching room, and others thought they were classmates from the performance class. They came here this time to find an excellent photographer. The recruitment process for venue management and assistant director went very smoothly. After all, there are too many people like this in Yanjing City. There are relatively fewer photographers. Excellent photographers have already joined the cast, and it's not up to Li Shengyao's crew. He then directed his attention to the photography class at Yanjing Film Academy. First, Yan Danchen asked someone to inquire, and then he locked in a classmate named Lu Sheng. It is said that this student has one of the best skills in this class, and the teachers highly recognize Lu Sheng's abilities. However, according to Yan Danchen's understanding, a production team had previously approached Lu Sheng, but he refused. To show sincerity, Li Shengyao and Yan Danchen personally came over. Not long after class was over, the students in the photography class left one after another, and there were only 3 boys left in the class, one of whom was Lu Sheng. This person is 20.1 years old, with an average appearance and figure. He is wearing glasses and his eyes are a bit hesitant. He keeps frowning, as if there is something bothering him. Li Shengyao and Yan Danchen exchanged a glance and then approached together, directly indicating their intention to come. The other 2 male classmates looked enviously at Lu Sheng when they heard Li Shengyao's words. However, Lu Sheng did not pay attention to Li Shengyao and Yan Danchen. He coldly glanced at the two of them, then quickly left with his hands in his pockets. This what's going on here? Not a word, neither agree nor say. Li Shengyao felt a bit depressed. He quickly regained his senses and chased after him, saying, Lu Sheng, do you have any concerns? We can talk openly and have a good discussion. Whether in movies or TV dramas, photography can be said to be the third most important person after directors and screenwriters. Wang Jiawei has been looking for Du Kefeng because Lao Du can capture the feeling he wants. Farewell my concubine, asked Gu Changwei because Lao Gu was able to capture the image that Kaizi Gu wanted. A good photographer can capture quality and capture stories. The shooting of Meteor Garden, which is about to catch fire, was defended by a photographer who tied a dog behind the camera and could produce similar effects. The entire TV series lacks beauty, composition without any thought or perspective. It's like a straight man taking photos with his phone. The appearance of the first and second male saved this TV series. However, for the vast majority of urban dramas in mainland China, photography is just a defense, such as Zhao Baogang's modern dramas, where the shots really lack aesthetic appeal. The only thing that puts effort into photography is the sea salt drama. If you look closely at the sea salt drama, you can tell to some extent that the director and photographer still use their brains. Korean dramas have introduced the production system of beautiful countries, and the commercialization of film and television dramas has been very successful. The photographers they use cannot be said to be masters, but at least they are qualified tools. The visuals are beautiful and can evoke imagination. The cinematography score for Sentimental Hotel is 70 points, which is not particularly excellent, it's just average. And 1 year later, the popular Asian song Winter Love Song scored 85 points in photography, with very beautiful, vivid, and storytelling visuals. Winter Love Song successfully created a sense of desolation in a snow-white world, making Pei Yongjun a sensation in the island country. The TV series had the highest ratings of the year, and Pei Yongjun became a phenomenon-level superstar in the island country. The surrounding TV series went viral. The island country even established a theme park for Winter Love Song. All of this cannot be ignored by that photographer. Li Shengyao plans to finish filming Love Hotel and Funny Family and then shoot Winter Love Song. He wants to find a very excellent photographer. Lu Sheng is pulling now, but if his level is not good, Li Shengyao will not hesitate to abandon him. Yan Danchen also followed and whispered that he could talk seriously. Lu Sheng glanced at Yan Danchen, probably due to the role of a beautiful woman. He was willing to communicate and whispered, I'm not asking for a low price. Li Shengyao smiled and said, if your level is high, I will give you the price of an old photographer. Nowadays, veteran photographers from outside usually charge around 1,000 yuan per episode, while novice photographers only charge around 300 to 400 yuan. Upon hearing this, Lu Sheng stopped and said seriously, my level is definitely not a problem, but what about your compensation? Can you provide it in a timely manner? Of course, Li Shengyao's heart twitched, were you greedy for your salary before? Lu Sheng glanced at Li Shengyao but did not answer. Li Shengyao nodded and said, I want to see your work and then consider whether to use you. Line. Shortly thereafter, Li Shengli and Yan Danchen arrived at Lu Sheng's dormitory together and watched a short film filmed by Lu Sheng amidst the envious gazes of his roommates. This is a travel short film that tells the story of a girl traveling in Yanjing. The girl's appearance is average, but when she is happy, she shows a big white tooth, which appears particularly charming. This was perfectly captured by Lu Sheng. It's already very good to be able to do this. Photographers must have a pair of eyes that discover beauty, even if their appearance is average, they must still discover shining points. Li Shengyao nodded satisfied and said, sure, this short film has a very high level of photography. Lu Sheng nodded arrogantly and said, where's the money? How do we calculate it? First of all, let's make it clear that we are a newly formed production team, but as a director, you must listen to me. You can shoot whatever I say. No problem. What about the money? How much does it cost per episode? Lu Xing's answer was very straightforward. 801 episodes, a total of 28 episodes. This price is considered very good for a newcomer. Upon hearing this, Lu Xing thought for a moment and said, "Can you give me 10,000 first? If possible, I will sign the contract immediately and come with you." He should have some unspoken secrets. Shengyao did not inquire further. "Okay, I'll sign the contract this afternoon and transfer it to you tonight. Where are we going to take photos?" "Shanghai City." The sunlight drifted through the glass windows and fell to the ground, making the room warm and fresh. Shengyao was in a great mood, stretched lazily, and took the lead in going to the outside world. Take care of the male lead again, and then go to Shanghai. End of this chapter.